All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a fresh episode of ATP Live Monday. I am Binisola Boyde. I'm here today to answer any question you may have about the health of your children. I'm just trying to make sure all my settings are appropriate. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll just manage it like that. All right. So, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to a fresh episode of ATP Live Monday, brought to you by Atp Pediatrician's Foundation. Atp Pediatrician's Foundation, we're committed to the health and welfare of all children globally, and especially for those in sub-Saharan Africa. And so, welcome. Please share the video, and we'll soon start. I'm also going to start trying to do the same. If you have any questions about the health of your children, you can start to drop the questions while I try to share the video now, the links to all our groups so that everybody can see. Okay. Just all right, but okay. How's your Monday be? How you've had a lovely day. Okay, let me open it. Okay. Looking for the live video. Okay, finally saying. Okay, lovely. Welcome everyone to ATP Live Monday. For those joining on Instagram, you're welcome as well. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share the video now. Welcome. I'm just trying to share the video. Just give me a couple of minutes. So this is a program where you get to ask any question you may have about the health of your children, and then we will try and okay. All right, then let me share it myself. Share. Please share the video as well. Invite your friends and family to join us. Okay. All right. I hope I've done all the sharing. Okay. Well, let me quickly go to the groups and pin them as well. Ifoma Agbasi, thank you for joining us so early. You're welcome. Instagram people, I say you're welcome. All right, and then let's do the pinning in the groups so that some people won't say it until we finish. If we don't pin it up for them to say. Okay. 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 I also didn't share to some sister groups that like to be part of this. Okay. So if you have any question about the health of your children, feel free to ask your questions, and I will try and answer them in the next 1 hour. Okay, so I think I'm done with all the sharing. So let me once again welcome you to ATP Live Monday. This is a program where we get to answer any question that you may have about the health of your children. But remember that even if you have any question after the live session, you can always go to our Facebook group, and we're always there 24/7 No, 24/6 because we are not available on Sundays. We're always there Mondays to Saturday to answer any question that you may have about the health of your children. So thank you so much for joining me. Um, and obviously, if you also want to read more about any of those topics that we're talking about, you can always go to our website, www.atpediatricians.com, or you can also go to our podcasts to listen, or our YouTube channel to also watch all the past videos. They are always there. All right. I think I've seen questions start rolling in, so I'm not just going to waste time. I'm just going to dive in to start answering our question. Instagram, you're welcome as well. Feel free to ask your question. Okay, the first question I have is good evening. What can I use for mosquito bites that turn into a dark spot on the child's leg? Okay, so some children do have like a kind of allergic reaction to insect bites, including mosquito or insect bite generally. And when they have those kind of bites, they may come up with those marks on their body. And actually, there's really nothing you can do about it. Just leave it alone. Most of the time, they will resolve on their own as the children gets older. But the most important thing is to actually prevent those bites from happening again and again. So we recommend for children that they sleep under long-lasting insecticide-treated mosquito nets. Make sure your house, you use nets, you use insecticide to flate or fumigate, clear bushes or pockets of water where mosquitoes can hide and all that. But the most important thing is to prevent the bites, really. But once it happens, there's really not so much you can do to the spots. Most of the time, it will go away. You should not be using medicated products or creams or anything on them. Just leave them alone. They are going to fade away with time. All right. So it's not a disease, it's not like an infection. So you don't need to be using medicated creams or something on them. Okay. Just leave them and they will clear as the child changes their skin over time. All right. Your second question is, when will a child foot stop being flat? Okay, so most children are flat-footed for the first 1 year of life. After that, they develop arches. But some people also actually have flat feet, as that is just part of who they are, as against the usual, normal one that most children have in the first year of life. So if you think your child is above the age of 1 year and they are still flat-footed, and it's causing them any form of discomfort, wherever, you can see the physiotherapist, and then the physiotherapist can give you advice on what to do. Most people, it doesn't really disturb them in any way and doesn't really matter, and you don't need to do anything about it. But if it is really causing any issues and you're worried about it, so usually there's what we call podiatry, but some of us don't have that in Nigeria or some part of Africa. But you can still see the physiotherapist and they can give you advice on what, after the examination, they will tell you what to do. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer Habisola's question. All right, let's move on. Um, if I'm okay, say you are here again. Thank you. We are happy for you to be here. It's fine. Please, should I worry about my almost 5 months old who doesn't like sitting for some time? Of course not. Most babies start to sit with support from 5 to 6 months, and usually they can't sit for too long at that age. Most of the time, they just sit for less than 5 minutes or thereabouts. So you are not supposed to keep them sitting for so long. It's not meant to be a punishment. So if the child has had enough and the child wants to lie down, it's okay for them to do that. So I won't worry about it at all. And your baby is not even yet 5 months. Remember, it's a 5 to 6 months old. So your baby is not yet 5 months old. So it's not yet even the age for sitting with support. So there's no reason for us to start worrying or rushing ahead. There is no particular method that we give children who achieve their milestones faster than the others. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that children should grow at their own pace. Okay, it is when children have gotten to the above the cutoff age and they have not yet achieved a milestone, that is when we as pediatricians will worry. But a child who is not yet 5 months old, Even if the child doesn't want to sit at all, I'm not worried, because sitting with support is a 5 to 6 month old milestone, and sitting without support, that is the one that is 7 to 8 months old. So this baby is not yet 5 months old. There is no cause for alarm. Again, rolling over is also 5 to 6 months old. So I just think you just need to relax and just relax and let the baby be. There's no extra advantage to achieving milestones faster or not. It doesn't really make much difference. All right. Nene say, is it normal for a 7-year-old to grow breasts? It depends on how big the breast is. So usually for us as pediatricians, there's what we call standard staging. We actually stage the breast. So we have what we call puberty, where it is just flat, standard stage 0. Then we have up to stage 5. So usually some boys, when they're about to hit puberty as well, they may also have a little bit of breast growth, but it doesn't really mean anything for and 3, 4, and all that. So for a 7-year-old, really they shouldn't be growing breasts, but sometimes some children may have that if they are too big, if they are obese. So for example, I'll be interested in the weight of this child. So some children, when they are very fat, they can have that fat pocket of fat showing there. That is not the typical, we don't call that breast, because the breast itself is when it is a breast tissue and it's coming up, and there are what we call mounts that is forming, all those kind of things. So if it's just a child who is fat, and because of that he has those extra layer of fat in that area, we will not classify that as like puberty kind of breast tissue formation. Okay. Also, some medication can give side effects, or what we call gynecomastia. So if your child is on a particular drug, especially if they are using that drug for a long time and they are having breast tissue formation as well, that could also be a reason. But the most important thing is to have that child examined first. So I would recommend that if it's something significant, if it's something you're worried about, I will for say get a pediatrician to see the child, and then they can advise you further. Instagram people, feel free to ask your question. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just checking on intermittently. If you can tell us the weight of the child, we know whether it's a fat, or if it's not a child with fat and is having breast, it's child of medications and all that. Then if none of that, sometimes some medical conditions, it's really what we call endocrine conditions, where there are some abnormal production of certain hormones, it can also cause that. So you may want to just see a pediatrician just for them to have a proper look on the child, and then they can advise you further. All right. Okay. If I may say, I would like to know more about epigastric hernia. I made a post about 2 years back. Okay, I remember seeing all these posts about epigastric hernia. Hernia is, and I'm sure we've sent you the link to hernia reading. It's the same information. So just read our article on hernia. So basically, what happened in any hernia is that there is a space where there should be no space, and when there's a space where there should be no space, some organs or some tissue can pass through that space, and when they come out through that space, they'll form a kind of a swelling, and that is actually what happens in hernia. Hernia can happen anywhere. So the common one, which most people are familiar with, the umbilical hernia, because when babies are born, you know that there's a connection between the baby and the mother through the from where the placenta connects to the baby, which we cut. So we actually see that hole, and as the placenta, the umbilical cord dries off, we form the navel. But that hole through which those blood vessels went to the placenta, if it doesn't close properly in babies, some of the tissue in the abdomen, the fats, the what we call the mesentery, even sometimes some of the organs, the intestine, can come out. Especially when baby coughs or cry or anything, so they will come out through that space, and so you see some people have that swelling around the umbilicals, but most time you can easily push them back, and it doesn't cause any harm. And most time as children gets bigger, the space will close by itself naturally, and that will be the end of the hernia. But sometimes if the hole is very big, and it's quite big, the tendency for those tissue to come out is higher, so the the hernia will be bigger, and sometimes if in the process they may come out and get what we call obstructed and not be able to go back easily, that's what obstruction, or even they may get into a situation where blood vessel supply is kind of compromised, and that's what causes strangulation. Those are the instances where we need to operate. So basically the doctors go there, push back all those organs that have come out and close that hole. That is what we call hernia repair. So they repair this hole and close it. So you can also have hernia in femoral area, in inguinal area. There are many parts of the body where there could be a hole and something that should not be coming out is coming out. Basically, that's what happened in hernia. So if your child has hernia and it's there, it's not going down, or it's very big, you worry about it, then the solution is to go to see the pediatric surgeons, and they will do an operation and close the hole. Okay, so that's it. It is not something that tends to be recurrent. It's not something that tends to be inherited. So it's not something that is caused by something. It is just something that can happen. So it is, though there are some things in medicine that we call familiar. So some things tend to come to be more common in certain people. For example, umbilical hernia tends to be commoner in blacks, but it does not mean there's a particular thing you are doing or not doing that is making you to have the hernia. It's just something that's happened. What's happening? Help, Facebook people, can you still see me? I think they're having problem with my streaming on Facebook. All right. All right. I think I don't know. It seems like they're having streaming issues on Facebook. So I'll stop the video and start again.